Very important right now for you to take 1 second and hit that like button. Help push us through the YouTube algorithm. And then it's also equally as important to pound on that bell notification, hit that bell notification and click all. That way you stay up to date on all my latest videos as the inflationary depression that I've been warning about. Opinions, because no, I am not a financial advisor. This is just my overall thesis of the market, right? And as we get into it now, you can Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, and you can see another forecast from 1 week ago. Today is Saturday. We started actually 8 days ago about a phenomenal pump that could take place last week. And then once again, Vincenzo is not just a crypto bear. He's a crypto realist and a crypto truther. And I tell you what I think in the micro and macro timeframes are going to happen. And you can see what I thought was going to happen actually did materialize here in the Ethereum price, right? And this is just one of the many coins that we said there were big pumps coming. And if we look at the daily time frame, you can see last weekend we were half traded through this blue descending ring, right there. And we told you in this consolidation, it was likely to break to the upside with what was going on in the overall markets, right? And one of the things that was going on in the overall markets was bullish sentiment that the Fed in December is going to start to pivot, right? And by pivot, we mean if they raise rates, it won't be by 0.75, it might be by 0.25. And then there's language, and what they're talking about is going to, overall in the conversation, the markets are predicting based on some articles and some things that have come out last week, especially, or 2 weeks ago. And last week, the narrative kept playing that they may even start to go towards monetary loosening again, or fiscal stimulus, right? Quantitative easing as early as the first quarter of 2023, as the rumors and the innuendos are the Federal Reserve are getting worried about a financial crisis and deflation, and they don't want that to happen, right? Mass deflation. And then we had a big pump here, and you can see Ethereum. One of our targets last week was last weekend, and this is when Ethereum, go look at them videos last Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right in here. When the price was down there, right at the top part of that blue support zone, we were telling you $1,669, or in this case, where the marker shows $1,689, right up here was going to be a major upper resistance. And that was the top part of the volume, or the bottom part of the volume indicator, that when you're coming from below acts as resistance. And we highlighted the potential for a 10 to 20% pump across the board. And we made titles saying that, and you can see the Ethereum price is actually at current price is up 27% from last week, and is actually spiked up a little bit more than that as it almost hit that $1,680.99, the bottom part of that resistance box, which is the volume indicator, and it's bearish when you're underneath it. So we knew once you touched it the first time, just like right here, you'd get resistance, 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 resistance before that breakup, right? And that target was hit beautifully. And once again, Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, and that's a reason you need to like, subscribe, and share. We kept you out ahead of this pump, out ahead of the competition, and out ahead of the market manipulators, as we got very bullish on a crypto week across the board. We were posting videos left and right, 10 to 20% pump, 50% possible pump in Dogecoin, and that hit. An XRP possible pump, right? We were telling you across the board, the Bitcoin possible 24,000 across the board, that we were going to get bullish this week, and we did get bullish. And the only thing that really hasn't pumped as much as I thought was XRP this week, but you can see that was coming off this mass pump before the rest of the market started, and we've been in this consolidation. And right now, we did have a little bit of a pump from last weekend. If we pull out our industry exclusive measuring tool, and we're right here on the 29th, let's find last Sunday right here, and Saturday we were down. Let's find the mean of the candle, it was about 45 cents. So we did come up about 4% this week. We did have as much as up 6%, but we've just been trading up and sideways, and the volume has not come back in. You can see it's still trending down and actually almost leveled off, but it's still slightly trending down. And then you get this kind of up and sideways consolidation. I don't like the looks of that, but we still have that 50 cents as a possible target this week, but that might be more of a big rejection point now as we come on into that area, because if we look at from back here last week on when we started talking about on Friday, the bottom of the pump to the top, that would be a nice 15% pump, and that's what we were talking about. But it might get rejected there and come down to the 37 cents. But we have to pay attention for that because we do have an upside potential in this, even though it's only been about a 2.5 out of 10 chance. You could come up to that 66 cents if you broke out to the upside, as you have the 200 day that was steeply downtrending in the daily time frame down there, right? You can see it was in a steep downtrend. It was moving down steeply. The 100 day in blue was moving down, and the 50 day was moving down. And then we had that cross back up into here, right? And so that's very bearish. So that means the price is going to keep continuing down. But now you can see what's developed here recently as we've had this, whoops, we want to get back out here to the 4-hour time frame will be sufficient. We have this nice consolidation right here. Oops. Actually, we'll go back to the daily time frame. We have this nice consolidation because I want to show you these moving averages. This nice consolidation right there, right? But look at the moving averages now. The 100 is flattened out. The 50 is actually crossed through from underneath to over the 100 day. So a short-term moving average right here crossed through from underneath and became on top of it. And that's a bullish sign when that happens. And you can see we've had this consolidation, but that's bullish when you get a short-term moving average to cross a longer-term moving average. And you can still see it's still uptrending. And if you could cross the 200, that would be even more bullish up into here. But you can see the 200 is running parallel to the price now. The 50 is strongly moving up and now starting to level off. And the 100 day is moving up but leveling off. And most of them are starting to run parallel to the price. That's telling you you're in your max consolidation range and that a big move is going to come soon. And either this volume is going to spike up with buy volume or it's going to spike up with sell volume, and it's going to happen soon. But that's something that we look at. So what I would expect before this breakout is you just continue to do something like that, and then eventually the volume comes into the upside and you're going to run into this 50 cents and then have to force your way through. Or you're going to come up a little bit and get harshly rejected as the volume comes in, and you're going to end up back at 37 cents. So you have 50 cents is the same short-term support or resistance that we've been talking about since the great pump and the sideways consolidation, because we've gotten rejected 3 times up there by it. You got that 50 cents major upper resistance, and then you have the 37 cents as your major underneath support. And then, as we do know, you have your 29 to 32 cents on any kind of breakdown. That is a major volume indicator range that you have to hold, or you crash to our end of the year target that was made last year when XRP was at $1.50 and rising in that 13-month symmetrical triangle, right? So that's what's going on there in the XRP price. If we look at the Bitcoin price, you can see it did have a nice little pump this week, and we were talking about that last weekend when the Bitcoin price was at $18,900 when it slipped right in here, that we had a possible pump scenario along with the rest of the market that we could come up to the 24,000, and in the daily time frame, the 200 just happens to be slithering there, and that makes a major area of where this price would go on a pump, and that's right around the same area where you got resisted right back there. And you can see after this little pump this weekend, because last week we were down here in that yellow candle or that red candle right there at about 18,900, we've had a nice little pump this week right up to the 100-day moving average in the daily time frame in the blue right there. Let's zoom in. You see that? And if we look at from last week, you can see that's last Friday. From the bottom of that pump till now, we're up almost 12% at its peak, and at current price 10.8%. So that's a pretty good call again by Vincenzo, that we were warning you there was a possibility of coming down there in this consolidation that we've been in, but we went bullish right here based off the news 2 weeks ago, and it has rallied nicely right here. The volume hasn't really spiked up. You can see it's still trending in the mean and the daily slightly down, so that's bearish because you could be looking at something like that. But right now we're still holding this consolidation, and the 50 days actually trying to uptrend slightly. Oops, didn't delete that. The 50 days actually slightly trying to uptrend. See that right there? How it's almost trying to come up a little bit, and that can be bullish as this is starting to level off. The 200 starting to slow its descent and its angle at which it's coming down, right? So it's starting to come more parallel to the price, and that could allow a nice consolidation here. Then the volume spikes in again, and you make that run up to 24,000 when the market's more thinly traded on the weekend, when the futures are closed, and you don't need as many buyers to push the price up, right? So this was another coin that verified, and again, you need to like, subscribe, and share from last week. When the price was down here, we warned of a 10 to 20% pump. Ethereum pumped north of 25%. Bitcoin pumped 12% at its peak so far this week in its current bull run. or its current bull push. So those are two coins. XRP was up 5%, right? Coins that we've nailed. And let's look at another one, Dogecoin. Look at this. This had a massive explosion. Wow, it went even more. I wish I would have took some kind of a trade on this, but we thought Dogecoin, we had an upper end potential of up here, and that was like a 50% move. But now Dogecoin has massively exploded, and it must have did this last night. And boy, do I wish I would have took some kind of a trade on this. But you can see from the bottom to where I had the pump going to was between the top part of the orange support zone and the 200 days. So that was a 30 to 40% move. But right now we had a blow off top of 148% pump, right? And at current price, it looks like it's down here at about 89% up. So that one did take off way to the upside. And that was something that old Vincenzo did make a forecast on. We were telling you there was a 30 to 50% pump possible in the Dogecoin. I didn't think it was going to go up that much, but that was another phenomenal call coming out of this office and this channel last weekend. And another reason this channel should be being seen more, but we're being suppressed by the market manipulators that are trying to keep Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing quiet, keep us off the radar because we have valuable information that helps you sidestep and audible to profitability, the criminal gangsters that are out there to fleece, heist, and shiest you and sell you a bill of goods and sell you snake oil and all the rest of it that comes out with the hype train and the influencers and who the criminal gangsters want to promote more than others. But you can see we called that beautifully on this nice pump. Yes, it pumped more than I thought, but hey, I knew the forecast was for a 30 to 50% pump. If you took that advice, you may erode 140% pump because markets often, but not always, do more than what is expected, right? Even if you're thinking something's going to happen, they often overachieve because the market is just a bunch of humans trading in emotions, right? And people get excited. But now we're already getting out ahead of this to diagnose this next pattern. And what I'm looking at here is it looks like now you're in something where you could look at that's your major upper resistance that you've plowed through, right? And now it's going to look to be support on the way down. And then this is your major underneath support, something like that. You could even come down there and say it's been doing that. And now what I'm going to look for, as you can see, we have this major area right here. Let's get rid of that. We have this major support resistance area right there. And we're going to make this a brighter color. See that? And it did actually come up there. And that's why we did have that in the background, because this was major support right there, major resistance right there. So we knew this was going to be a critical area. And that's why that was sitting there in the background. And that's up here at about 14 cents. And now what I'm going to look for on the way back down are these major areas to try to hold as support in the Dogecoin. The obvious one would be right here at 7 cents at the top part of the last line of defense to the shithouse, right? And then another one would be right up here at the peak of this old run, halfway in between the 14 and the 7 cents, roughly right here at the 10-cent level or just slightly below it. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Pay attention to the volume in the daily time frame as it comes in. As we zoom into the 3-hour time frame, even closer, the hour time frame. Wow, this all just happened in the last few hours. The 45, the 5. There we go. I'm just trying to see, because you had this big wick right here. See this? This was your power move right there. Big wick. And now we're in this consolidation. So the moving averages are trending up. If this comes back up and sort of double tops here and gets rejected, you would start to look at the moving averages at each area to try to hold support, and then coming back down into these levels right here at about the 10-cent level and then the 7.5-cent level. So another phenomenal pump by Dogecoin. That one overdid what I thought it would do, but hey, that often happens, and it was a beautiful pump, and congratulations to anybody that took that trade. Like, subscribe, and share, and we're going to look at more of these coins that old Vincenzo has nailed on this pump when we put out of this office to look for a 10 to 20% pump across the board. And some of these smaller coins that were harshly oversold have pumped even more than that. And on our last coin out, you can see Algo had a nice pump too. Let's go look at from last Friday. Right, we were down here in the shithouse. We had a nice 6% pump, and we have a 35-cent upper range right now. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love.